What's up guys, this is Shannon and today we are in the Vale Sutera Damansara. Let's go! Hey guys, so this episode is another episode in collab with the audience itself. So this owner reached out and said that hey, you want to check out a townhouse because and apartments, right? You only cover apartments lah and super luxury apartments lah and apartments lah and apartments. No lah, I got landed a bit but what he realized is there's no townhouse, so he offered because he just got a townhouse, which is awesome. Then we are now in Sutera Damansara, and where is this place? Is actually within Damansara Damai. So in Damansara Damai, you turn left, right? You go in quite deep though to reach this. So it takes around 5 to 10 minutes to reach the highlands of this area of Damansara Damai actually. And this project has been a while because there's Vale 1, Vale 2. So before we proceed further, what's a townhouse? It's a triple story terrace house but split into two owners, meaning the first owner owns ground floor and half of the first floor, and then the second owner owns the second part of the first floor and the second floor. Don't understand, right? Let's go and see lah. This is the unit that we're going to review today, and this block, right, is actually two units. This door shares this floor, ground floor, and the part of the first floor. Second owner, right, when it goes in, they share this part of the floor and the entire second floor. So it's like a zigzag kind of thing that is actually happening, and let's go check out the unit now. Because this is a project like been a while already, right? That's why you can see the behaviour of investors last time. These are the investors that just buy, or first phase, right? First phase, I just buy a few and I just leave it. Don't care, don't even rent out. That's why you can see the maintenance part of it, right? It's not as well done. That's why when this owner came and he found this by accident actually, and he bought this sub sale and he shared his story, like how he hunt and he started his investment journey via the videos. Coming back is you can see like this kind of thing. Right, the width of the house is actually 26 and the length is actually 85 feet. But how they calculate 26 is 2 units 26, which is very different from a terrace house. A terrace house is 24 or 22, right? But entirely it's yours. This one, share. This is where your car parks in, and you have a this is a separation wall between the owner upstairs, and we are going in the entrance right now. First things first, why the entrance must be the manhole? Oh well. Then there's some louvers to provide some privacy yet not block the ventilation. Nice. Okay, going in, you'll see there's an empty space here, most probably for cabinets, right? And what I like is actually the ceiling height is around 3 meters, which is rather generous. Then coming in from the front door, this is your living room. It's very spacious, as you can see. It's really very spacious. You have a storage space here because it's right under the staircase. Okay, so you can see, right? It's actually very deep inside lah. But then they give you cement render only lah. You notice the living space is rather bright. It's because there's this back alley behind, and straight away that is the edge of the unit really. So let's go check it out. You can see that's the neighbors. That's the edge of your unit, and this is your backyard. Quite cool lah. These are the units, right, that is actually invested by investors previously, and they just leave it empty for very long. Some of them are pretty run down already. You can see the windows there, all the snails and all, because no one maintains, you see. So you see all the landscapes are not properly well kept, but you look at those that are well kept, right, it's actually very, very beautiful. Okay, right next to the living, you have this dining space. I think it's rather dark lah. Next to the dining, there's a bedroom on the ground floor, which is very good for elderly stuff, for those who want to stay with the in-laws or your parents, right? Check out the window, nice. But then, because this one is direct access to the public, so privacy issue. Then this user also has their own bathroom. Let's check out the spec. It's a Golia, then you have, I like this, the countertop, full height wall tiles. You have your WC, no shower screen, shower. Before we proceed further, right, let's go into the spec. This is 26 city, as we mentioned just now, around 2001 built up. Then it's a strata, and then this is a 3+1 bedroom and 4 bathroom unit, and there's a lot of storage space here and there. So the owner actually bought this for 720,000. Moving on, let's go to the kitchen. This is your kitchen, and there's a proper compartment to the kitchen, which is nice. But then it's empty, meaning like you need to do your whole kitchen cabinet yourself, which is going to be quite costly. Most probably this will be the fridge, and there will be a kitchen top. Then because your floor trap is there, so the basin will be somewhere there connecting downwards. This is your floor trap. Puddings is actually full tiles up, but you can feel that the ceiling height is not as high because they need to add on the plaster ceiling already. And you can feel a lot of angular things. Let me show you. Here is the +1 that we mentioned. It can be your maid's room or your storage space. Then this is the ground floor bathroom, which is for the guests. Then you can see this angle. You can see this angle. Why is this happening? You see? This will be the space for your washing machine. Although it's bright and all, right, with all the daylight, you still feel congested because of this angle and this column. On the bright side, you get to hear all these awesome bird sounds. Can you hear them? Coming up from the kitchen, living, bedroom, right, we go upstairs. Staircase seems rather bulky, right? It's because of this thing. If you easily replace this element with glass, this entire space feels so much more transparent and open already. And you can see that this is a staircase wall, and in conventional terrace houses, you can feel that the staircase is rather bright because usually it's all open. How I wish that this would be actually open up. Most probably this is the structural elements to support the unit upstairs. But that being said, you can actually use column instead of the entire load-bearing wall to actually support the upstairs. It's going to be rather dark, then you need another wall light and things like that. Upstairs, timber flooring, steel handrail, 4 feet staircase. If the doors are not open, right, it's going to be very dark already. At the edge of the staircase, you will have this weird corner. I think it's another storage space for you to put up cabinets again. You can see the column and structural design is a bit weird. Why this beam cannot be tied to this wall? Instead they set back in, then you have this gap. I don't know for what. That also translates into elements like this. You can just pull back this beam like 300 back, then this will look way more cleaner. Then there will be 2 rooms, one on the right, one on the left. Let's check out the left one first. Whoa! I think the price paid for this master bedroom, I think is worth it already, because you have that amazing view, unblocked view already, and then the size of this bedroom is actually very, very nice. Then they even have a balcony. It's awesome because they use the glass handrail right there. It looks super open. Imagine this being the brick wall again. But you really need to spend some money, right, on the maintenance part of the facade. If my budget is actually limited, work on the utilities first. When you start moving into a sub-sale product, right, what you need to check first is those things that will affect you physically, which is like the water points. Are all water points working? Are all sewerage points working? Then are all electrical points working and things like that. If there's an alarm system, test it out, the alarm system first. After that, only you work on the kitchen to complete the kitchen. Then you slowly complete the bedroom, complete the living room. Then only you start to do all this like cleaning up of facade and things like that. Because that, you got budget, then you do. If you no budget, right, it's okay to leave it for a while first, because budget tight ma, right? This should be the point for your aircon compressors outside. So the floor is not timber, but it's actually timber like tile. So this is one piece, this is one piece. So it's a tile, yeah. It's not timber. Then moving on, this will be the space for your walk-in wardrobe. And this will be the master bathroom. And they have this slip window. I think for sexiness. Let's check out the specs. This one, no brand. This one is Acolia, so it should be the same. Countertop, full height wall tiles, shower screen, rain shower, they give rain shower, and then you have that daylight outside. On the master bedroom, moving on, there will be another bedroom upstairs, and this is the second bedroom, and it's huge. So coming into the room, you can see it's really wide, but just as discussed with the owner, right? There's something that is bothering, which is the structural alignments. Although the room is is huge, right? But you can see that the zigzagness, you can see it? Zigzag. Okay, I remember someone actually had mentioned about feng shui before. This is it for bedrooms, right? If I sleep the bed, right, I don't want any beams crossing above me when I'm sleeping, and I don't want any edges as well. So what I mean is this. If I were to put my bed here, this kink is actually in the way, right? Then you feel that uneasiness. Then if I were to put another locations as well, it's going to have kinks everywhere. You look at the structural order again and look at this beam again. Moving into the toilet, let's check it out. WC, no shower screen, right? Full height wall tiles. Quite complete. Because there's no window to this toilet, like this, there's a mechanical ventilation system lah. Okay guys, so I think that's all for the review. It's now time for Sean take 3 on 3. 3 things I like. Number 1, definitely the serenity lah. The peacefulness of the site, very close to nature. It's almost as if you are not in the city. But I think that's a good thing. Along with the low density, there's no noise at all. That's why you can, it's like, I already can hear bird sound. Can you hear that? Number 2 would be the price, because this is an own stay kind of situation. 2,100 square feet, right? This is amazing for 720 in Damansara Damai. Plus you have that 3+1 room, and you look at the kitchen, and you look at the scale of the rooms upstairs, right? It's amazing. The third thing I like is that the architect, right, the designer of the unit, right, actually acknowledged that the unit is going to be dark. Ultimately, a space, right, no matter what scale, there's no daylight or ventilation to the space, is as good as dead, right? That's why you can see that there's a lot of small little slits of window here and there, just to try to borrow light from internal spaces. Like from the master bedroom, they borrow light into the common area between rooms and the stairwell. That also relates to the 3 things that I don't really like. Number 1 is the structural design. Because townhouses, it can be quite complicated because you have 2 different units overlaying on each other, right? There will be different spaces and different edges within each other. That's why you can find a lot of very weird kinks here and there, very weird columns not tidied up. If you really just tighten up all those, right, this house will definitely be. Number 2 will be the access. The access from Damansara Damai, right? There's one road, then you got to go through a lot of bumps. Damansara Damai traffic is actually crazy. But this owner itself, his shift is actually flexi. He can do whatever he wants, anytime he wants, which is super cool. Then all those are not an element to be considered at all. Last of all, because of the behaviour of previous investors, you can see that most of the people last time they buy first phase products of a township, right? First phase, I buy a lot, then I just leave it. They didn't put in effort in maintaining, so you can see a lot of very disgusting things. Like you can see, look at those things. Those are snails and bugs, and all across the window. You can look at the landscape things here. You get such a unit. This one 1 million, you know, 1 unit. So overall, right, do I like the place for own stay, right? It's going to be an amazing space because 720,000, what you get? You get a smaller terrace, which is very far away from town, from city. And this one is actually in the city center itself, although the accessibility wise is not as sexy. But then if you are a freelancer or you actually have flexi working hours, right, then it's amazing. 700,000, you get a 2,001 square feet and your dining and living room at such a scale, so open, next to nature, in a quiet environment. Before I forget, shout out to the owner for offering his townhouse for us to review and learn from it. And the fact he started investing because of my channel is just very heartwarming. I really appreciate it. If you really like this video, like it, share it, and even subscribe for more information like this. Until next time, this is Sean Tan.
Just love me harder, have no mercy on me, just tell me louder. If you're loving me, just love me harder, have no mercy on me.